Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Going to give everyone a second to join. We still have the numbers moving up. Did you have a good weekend, Gordon? It still kind of feels like we're coming off the weekend because it was a long weekend.
It was good. Yep, it was really good. Nice to relax. How about you?
Good. Yep, very good. Lots of pool and family time, so no complaints. All right, let's see. We'll just give everybody another minute or so to get hopped on here. Numbers are still going up. All right.
There should be a call-in number too for those that those that are joining and need to call in. Do you usually put that in the chat?
Not typically. Okay. I'm not even sure where to find that. Okay. All right. Looks like we're slowing down a little bit. If you need a call-in number, chat in and we'll see if we can figure that out. I'm sure it's pretty easy. But yeah, looks like we're kind of slowing down on everybody joining. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. All right, cool. Hey guys, so I'm Bracken. I work here at BusyBusy and I help out with a lot of our webinar series webinars. So that is what we're doing today. I want to introduce Gordon. He has been at BusyBusy for more than 5 years now. So to say he's a BusyBusy expert would be a little bit of an understatement. Gordon comes from the construction industry and still holds his GC license, which I think personally is super cool. But in the 5+ years that Gordon's been here, he has helped hundreds of companies get set up, hooked up, integrated, and just ready to go with BusyBusy and their accounting companies like QuickBooks Online. So we're super stoked to have him join our webinar series today. And before I pass the time over to him, a couple of housekeeping items. A recording will be available, so we're always being asked that, and we'll be sending that out either later today or sometime tomorrow. So you will have a copy of the recording. Another thing which you might all know, but wanted to just make sure we were clear on it. We at BusyBusy refer to QuickBooks Online as QBO all the time. So you may hear Gordon or I use that acronym as we go along, and just wanted to give a heads up that that is what we're talking about. So QBO, QuickBooks Online. And then one final housekeeping piece, there will be a Q&A at the end. So hope to get to all the questions that you guys have, and if not, we will answer them later in an email. So yeah, if you have any questions, please put those down in the chat or in the Q&A. We love to hear where everybody's from as well. So if you want to chat in, make sure everything's working there, then we'll go ahead and get started.
Excellent. My audio's okay?
Yep, sounds great.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, thanks, Bracken. Appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for joining today. We really appreciate your participation and definitely questions. So if you have good questions, definitely ask those. I feel like these webinars, I prefer to have a little bit more of a dialogue and have this be a less formal format. You know, me regurgitating stuff that we've learned, but rather if you can ask questions, I really like the dialogue. So definitely do that in the question and answer section. I will turn off my, should I turn off my camera or should I leave it on?
Yeah, we can turn them off. We'll put them back on
okay.
when we get to the questionnaire or if anything pops up in the middle.
You guys don't need to look at my ugly mug for a half an hour, so I'll turn it off. Okay, so for those that are joining us, there's, of course, I assume that you have an interest in QuickBooks Online. We also work with QuickBooks Desktop. So this isn't, a lot of these principles and these things that I'm going to talk about are not limited to QuickBooks Online, but do extend to a lot of the other programs that we work with. we work with roughly 25 to 30 accounting and payroll systems. And I've been working, like Bracken said, with those for the past 3 to 5 years. And it's always fun to be able to share what I've learned and have people understand it, because it definitely makes my job easier, and hopefully it demystifies some of this for you. So we'll get started, and I'll just cover what we're going to be covering in the webinar. So today we'll talk about the job costing basics. I just want a little primer to help you understand what we mean when we talk about job costing. And from there, we'll talk about job costing and reporting within QuickBooks Online, and how you can view and access or consume the job costing data that gets populated in QuickBooks Online. And then from there, we'll talk about tracking time to projects and cost codes within BusyBusy, to kind of just give you an indication of the life cycle or the beginning of job costing as it relates to time tracking and payroll within BusyBusy. And then from there, we'll talk about getting time from BusyBusy into QuickBooks Online once that's been entered by your employees. Then we'll talk about the relationship between job costing and payroll. I don't know that this gets a lot of discussion, how payroll ultimately results in job costing, but we will talk about that relationship, and there's some things that I can help you be aware of as you work to implement job costing and get that from your payroll. And then finally, we'll talk about what job costing will eventually become, and what the future of job site data is. And then we'll end with our Q&A. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dig into the basics of job costing. So for those that are either new to job costing or wanting to take their job costing to the next level, the discussion here will hopefully give you some insights, and hopefully help your business and your projects. Construction accounting, as you know, it's not entirely unlike accounting for any other type of company, but it does have some unique challenges specific to the construction industry, because each job is a unique job across your company. You have to employ an extra layer of accounting to the overall accounting system. And not only do construction companies have to manage their books at a general ledger level and any other typical chart of accounts, you also have to manage a separate set of books for each project that you do. So we totally understand that, and a big part, honestly, the original impetus behind BusyBusy was job costing. It's not uncommon for our clients to come to us with project or payroll specific needs, and we can certainly accommodate that, and we do, and that's become really the primary focus of the company and the data collected from BusyBusy. But it turns out that the data for job costing, labor, and payroll is the same. We just deliver it. We serve it up to the different departments in a way that they need it. For the payroll department, we give it to them in a way that they can do payroll. And then for your operations people, we're able to give the data to them in a way that they need it to analyze their jobs and make sure that they're staying on track and being profitable. So with that said, just real quick, want to discuss the main reasons that we see people use job costing in BusyBusy and what they're asking from us. And first, people want to see their budgets versus the actuals. So you create your estimate, and you want to validate your estimates so that you know that on future jobs you're getting you're hitting the numbers right. You're not leaving money on the table, and that you're getting enough profit built into your projects, and that labor doesn't get away from you. So those budgets versus actuals, that's a big one. And the next, getting paid. So for those companies that work on either federal and state jobs or jobs that have specific financial controls built into the contracts, you might need to track your employees' time by cost code so that you can include those in your pay requisitions or your pay applications to those entities. BusyBusy can certainly help with that. And then finally, for improving processes. This is one that's still a little bit in its infancy in the construction industry. We oftentimes get compared to the manufacturing industry, and how the manufacturing industry, they gained all sorts of productivity over the past 50 years, and construction did not. And I think the difference is that the manufacturing industry, you could sit and observe the manufacturing floor, where it's and collect data, where it's much more difficult to analyze and collect data on disparate job sites that are spread out across a geographical region. That is changing with the proliferation of mobile devices throughout job sites and throughout the industry. We now have the ability to collect a lot of this data that's been missing from our analysis of processes, and we've seen companies utilize the data that they're collecting from BusyBusy to actually improve their processes. One quick example that I think that's a simple one, but it stands out, and it's just a great way to illustrate how it can help you. We had an excavation / landscaping company that had two employees that were doing the exact same thing, stacking stone for retaining walls using an excavator with a thumb. And one guy was consistently 30% faster, and it showed up. That showed up in the data once they were looking at BusyBusy, and then the data within BusyBusy, and they decided to go out and investigate. And it turns out that the guy that was faster, he was stacking the stone from above the retaining wall, and the guy that was stacking stone below, he was 30% slower. So they made the adjustment, and the guy that was stacking the stone below was now stacking it from above, and was much faster, and actually caught up to the other guy. So things like that, these little insights that you can gain from analyzing the data. And every time I look at the amount of data that BusyBusy collects just from clocking in and clocking out and selecting projects and cost codes, it blows my mind, and it's going to do really good things for the industry. So here at BusyBusy, so on to the next slide. Here at BusyBusy, we talk a lot about the construction triangle. And the construction triangle is the ultimate completion of an estimate and subsequently the job. To best describe the construction triangle, the estimate begins the process of the job. From there, your team will excavate or execute the job, and finally, the last piece is to evaluate the job. And most people, and I'm guilty of this, when I get busy, most people are familiar with the first two pieces, estimating and executing. And you kind of, if you're not careful, you're hanging on by the seat of your pants, and you're executing and estimating. And that evaluate part tends to only happen when something goes wrong. And at BusyBusy, we're working to hopefully facilitate the process of integrating the evaluate part of this process into this cycle of estimating and executing and evaluating. And so with that in mind, I mean, we've built just tons of really great features and reports into BusyBusy that give you the real-time data. And I think the key here is the evaluate part of it, a lot of times when you're done with the job, you're kind of moved on, and you're ready to be moved on. Whereas if you can have the evaluation happen concurrently with the execution, the estimating, it lets you be more efficient with your existing jobs, and you're more of an active, proactive. You have more of a proactive approach to the process as opposed to a reactive process. So, so in order to make this process work here, the construction triangle, you really do need to set up a good set of cost codes, and you track your projects, track your cost codes on those projects, and of course make them make sense. And so just a few guidelines for when you set up cost codes on your projects. The most important things that I see is that you stay consistent, and making them consistent across your projects and over time. The consistent part, so I see clients sometimes create inconsistent cost codes across jobs, and sometimes it's because their estimators are creating projects and then they're just assigning cost codes somewhat arbitrarily. That's just a matter of wrangling that process and making sure that your estimates are all on the same page, and setting those cost codes up the same across all the jobs. The other reason that I hear, or the other thing that I see, is you get an RFP or a request for a bid from an entity, or it could be like the Department of Transportation, it could be a federally funded job, and because they have their specific pay schedules that are and their bid requirements, or bid documents, are required to have the specific cost codes that they've dictated to make sure that they're hitting all their bases. A lot of times people think that they need to adopt those cost codes permanently, and that's not always the case. You can still submit your bids with those cost codes that they're dictating. However, a lot of your ERP systems, your accounting and project management systems will actually allow you to map the cost codes over from your permanent cost codes to the cost codes that the entity is requesting. And we can definitely help facilitate that with BusyBusy and QBO. That would just be a discussion about how you guys are currently doing things and how we can kind of make up that difference. The other thing, being focused and having enough detail so that it makes sense, and you're learning from your projects, so that learning, those lessons learned can carry into your estimates, future estimates. I see people get excited about tracking cost codes and come up with a list of 400 cost codes or more, and then they want their employees to track that, and that sometimes can get overwhelming, and sometimes it can be it can be a deterrent for your employees for actually collecting valuable insights. So you're going to have to test and learn what the ideal level of detail is in order to collect the information. And one way to think about that is that your employees, they don't get paid to walk back and forth from the truck. If you're an electrician, they get paid to stand in front of a wall and install stuff. If you're a concrete company, then it's them placing concrete, finishing concrete. Those are the things that you get paid for, and those are the triggers for getting that payment from the client. And so understanding that should help you prioritize the things that should be tracked. and anything else would just be a matter of learning what's happening on the periphery of those activities. And then the next thing, separating non-value time. So, you know, if you do advertise things on like your trucks, or believe it or not, I got a Yellow Pages book. I actually got 3 of them within a week for this. It was the same one. I don't know how that happened, but just last week I got Yellow Pages for my area, and you know, of course, there's the opportunity to advertise in those Yellow Pages, and if you advertise, it's whatever you advertise, you should probably be tracking. So just as a final kind of idea about what to track as far as your cost codes. So yeah, with those in mind, let's go ahead and kind of shift gears, and we're going to go over to, let's see, we'll go over to our QuickBooks account. So I'm currently logged into QuickBooks, and from BusyBusy, as your time makes it over into QuickBooks. So we have a couple of ways to get time into QuickBooks. I'll talk about each of those ways here in just a second, but to give you an idea of what you can expect from getting the cost code data and project data into QuickBooks, we'll go into the report section here. So within your report section, of course, if you've been playing around with your reports, or I'm sure you've all done, you know, your report setup. I created a couple of custom reports that allow us to see our job costing by project or customer. So our time activities. So as long as you've got good, you've got good record keeping, and that time is coming over, you'll see that populate by project. Of course, we can see those totals. And this data, just to warn you, this data is coming from our test account, and we do all sorts of testing, and so there's lots of different data within that test account. But you can see here on a project, as long as I've got the detail here, I can see the date, the activity, I can see the employee data, the cost codes or service items, and we can see the duration. And that's a report that results from populating time in the weekly timesheet from the time coming in from BusyBusy. And then the other variation of that is to look at the time by job costing, or by service item. And that one, you'll see here, we can look at the, if we collapse these, we can see the totals by employee. We could actually, I could probably flip this, and instead of showing this by employee, I could show this by customer. But these cost codes here, that's one of our cost codes. That's also one of our cost codes. And we can see the totals for those. So lots of options here, customization in the reports within QuickBooks. And all of this is fed ultimately by the weekly timesheet. So within the weekly timesheet in QuickBooks, you'll see how that time populates here on jobs. And yes, Aaron Rogers works for us. And the time populates by project, by cost code, and by day here. So this gives us what we need in order to do that job costing and pull those reports. To the weekly timesheet. So it's a lot of the ERP systems or the accounting systems that we work with use a weekly timesheet. And the way to think about the weekly timesheet is it's like a clearinghouse, or like a stop before payroll. It exists here, but it hasn't made its way to payroll yet, and it hasn't made its way into invoices. And the invoicing, that creates general ledger or transactions. Payroll also creates transactions. But like I said, this weekly timesheet, the time just sits here and it doesn't do anything until you go to process payroll or create invoices. And at that point, that's what makes it real, because actual dollars are involved, and that job costing happens as a result of that time being paid, either payroll or invoicing, and then it shows up on the job as actual dollar amounts. So with that said, let's talk about, I'm going to share my phone screen. So I'm going to briefly go into the app within BusyBusy. I'm going to stop my screen share on my computer, and I'll share my phone screen. And you should be able to see my phone screen now. Okay. So this is the screen for those that are new to BusyBusy or are just getting started. This is the screen that your employees will see when they first open the app. And we've worked extremely hard to keep this a simple process. And what your employees will do at this point is they'll click on clock in. It works on Android, works on iPhone, and then that'll bring them to this screen. And this is where kind of the data collection management or data collection magic happens. Those first three sections, project, cost code, and equipment, these are all what we call smart data fields. And this is where they'll be able to select from pick lists that are set up and administered by administrators. Our integration with QuickBooks does automatically generate the lists for projects, and it automatically will sync your employees over into BusyBusy and set them up. So keep that in mind. That would be a part of discussing a specific solution for your company and what works for your company. This is definitely not a one-size-fits-all. So anytime we work with somebody that wants to integrate with BusyBusy, whether that's QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, or any of the other programs we work with, usually you end up talking to me or one of our other integration specialists, and we will design or custom tailor exactly the solution that's needed for you. So make sure that that if you are interested, that you're reaching out to our support team and they can get you connected with us. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and select a project.
Gordon, I'm going to interrupt you really quick with a question before we select our projects and cost codes. So we have a attendee writing in. She's asking, so what we call a cost code here is just hours. When I think of a cost code, I'm thinking a CSI code.
Yep. Yeah. CSI code. That's a common set of cost codes. I hope I understand the question.
So I think she's asking what we call a cost code here. Is that just hours in QuickBooks?
It can be those cost codes can match. I see what you're saying. The hours. So it was displaying hours. That hours cost code can be whatever. It can reflect whatever your cost codes are. If you use the CSI master format, then it can use those, and it can reflect those. They can be set up that way in BusyBusy and in QuickBooks. But just to kind of complete the process, I'll show you. I'll go ahead and select a project. So I'll select this 3470 Tyler Avenue, and then if I pick a cost code here, you'll see that I have access. Some of these are CSI master format. Some of them are just ones we made up. Plenty of our clients use the CSI cost codes. A ton of them also create their own set of cost codes that are just unique to them. So you do have the flexibility to do a custom set or just follow the CSI master format, which either way, we would help you get those inputted into BusyBusy. and then they're available to select for your employees. Does that hopefully that answers your question? Maybe chat and if you need clarification.
Awesome. Thanks, Gordon. And Kate, I'll message you separately and we'll make sure that that answered that for you. Anyways, thank you, Gordon. I will mute myself again and let you get back to it.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate the question. Like I said, I prefer this to be a dialogue, so don't hesitate to interrupt me if you feel like it's appropriate for the part of the presentation. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and complete this. So if I complete the process here, I'll go ahead and select a rough carpentry labor. Okay, I'll skip over the equipment, but you can select a piece of equipment, and that will be a part of the reporting in BusyBusy. And then of course I can add notes, and you've got up to 5,000 characters here. So I'm just gonna fat finger a note here and hit OK. So now at this point, the employee is gonna hit save. That's gonna get them clocked in. That time is now ticking, and it'll count up throughout the day. The top clock is the current activity reflected below the project and cost code that I'm currently clocked into. That top clock can reset throughout the day, and that reset happens as a result of switching between cost codes. So if I wanted to switch between rough carpentry labor and placing gravel, I can do that and hit save. That previous time entry for rough carpentry labor is now a record on my time card. It's a small record because I think I was clocked in for like 30 seconds, but it is a record. And then at the end of the day, when employees are ready to clock out, they'll hit that clock out button. They'll be asked questions that you can enable here. Yes, my time is correct. I can hit save, and now I'm clocked out. So both of those time entries now are a record on my time card. They're also available in the database to pull from as we pull the data from an export or a direct integration. Those can then be transferred over to QuickBooks. So with that time now in BusyBusy, I'm going to switch my share back to my computer, and you should now see my screen share here.
Yep,
so now
good.
that time, okay. So now that time is in BusyBusy, you'll see here, if I look at my entries for the day, I'll search by myself here, and you can tell that that's our test account because there's 3 of me in there, and I picked the wrong Gordon, so we're going to pick a different Gordon. We'll pick this Gordon here, hit apply, and there are my time entries. Okay, so there are my 2 time entries on that Tyler Avenue project. There's my my gravel and my rough carpentry labor. So all that shows up here within the data in BusyBusy. So now that it's in BusyBusy, best practices are you're going to do your review of time within one of these time card sections. You can also do your review in payroll, and from there, that data, once you've got it all clean and you've put a bow on it, at this point you can pull that data from BusyBusy. So if you have a direct connection with BusyBusy, which our direct connection does not include syncing over of cost codes or service items from BusyBusy, that is a future iteration that will be coming soon. For now, what we do, and also for our most complicated clients, one thing about industry standards for time tracking in the construction industry is that there are no standards. So nobody does it the same. So we've learned that if we can provide a custom tailored process of getting data from BusyBusy into QuickBooks, we can help 99% of the people that come to us needing that transfer of data. Even if you do prevailing wage or certified payroll, or if you have union contracts that need to have special considerations as far as your data goes, we can accommodate that, and we've done a good job of accommodating that for clients. With the automatic sync of that data does show up in the weekly timesheet here. It just does not reflect the cost code. So for those that for the question that was asked earlier, we do have the ability to customize these cost codes here, and those cost codes will show up in that job costing here. So the other method of getting time from BusyBusy is to use, and I'm going to close out of this weekly timesheet, is to use one of the two import tools that they're third-party import tools. They're partners with QuickBooks, and so they're a known entity to QuickBooks. The first one is Zachary Systems. I really like Zachary Systems. They've been just awesome to work with. They allow for account imports, setting up credit card imports. The one that we use to import time is this Easy Import. They do offer a trial that you can do. I think it's a 7-day trial. That's pretty handy. But we use Zachary Systems for a lot of our imports, and they have really great customer service. The other tool that we use is accessed within the apps. So if you go into the apps here within QuickBooks and search for SASANT. SASANT is also a transaction importer, but they allow for importing of time entries. So I've already added it to our QuickBooks account, and if you go into to my apps, you'll see it right here, SASANT bulk import. But this allows us to launch this from your QuickBooks. You do need to be signed in as the admin in order to add that, just FYI. But that QuickBooks importer for SASANT, and this is what I'll demonstrate. So I've already downloaded a file from BusyBusy, but to download a file from BusyBusy, you'll want to come into this payroll tool, and we can also provide custom exports. So I'm going to pull just a standard export from BusyBusy that has just standard data, so that you'll export that data from here, and that's that daily by project and cost code. We'll have your customer name and the cost code or the service item in the data, and so as it's entered by the employees. So we'll export that, and we'll go back into QuickBooks and actually into SASANT. And this SASANT tool allows you to browse for that file that you downloaded. And I'm going to select the one that I pulled down yesterday and hit open, and I'll hit submit. And what that does is that allows us to match up. So the file that I have is a CSV file, so just keep that in mind. It needs to be a comma separated values file. And let's see, I'm just trying to keep track of the time here. It looks like we've got about Bracken, this is supposed to be an hour long, right?
Yeah, it's usually about an hour. We typically have about 5 to 10 minutes for questions. So
okay, all right. So if I finish in 5 to 10 minutes, we'll have enough time to do some Q&A.
Yep, you're good.
Cool. All right. So what we want to match up here is this is the importer. So time activities. That was quick. I'll go back and I'll do that again. because I feel like I probably clicked that too quick. So our CSV file that we've downloaded, that's the one that that I downloaded from BusyBusy. And then the QuickBooks import format that we're looking for from SASANT is this time activities. So at this point, this allows us to map the fields. The fields that we have are listed, so the file header. So we're matching up the name. So in QuickBooks, it's called name. The column that I have in my spreadsheet is called, the header is full name. I can select from different columns. And then I can indicate the billable status. I can even set it to true. So if you want all of your time to be set as billable, we can say mark all of the time entries as billable, or set it as false. If you don't put anything in here as the default, you can select a billable column and just indicate that it's true or false within the spreadsheet on a case-by-case scenario for each of the time entries. And then within the customer field, we do have a customer field, but I'm going to call this. I actually want to pull up the it's project actually in BusyBusy. So we'll do project. And so there's our 3470 Tyler Avenue project, and then our cost code that comes over from BusyBusy, and from within BusyBusy, we'll also, let's see, we also want to do the hours, and that's already set up, and then our date down here. So it's doing its best to match it up, and I'm just checking. Once I've done this mapping, and just so you know, if you do want to do this on your end, we don't expect you to have to do it on your own. We're here to help. We can help you do it for the first time. Like I said, once it's set up, it's going to be there. It's going to remember that setup. So then if we review, it's going to let us see the data that we're importing from that spreadsheet, that CSV file. And then from here, I can review it. And then if I hit upload, what's going to happen is, well, I hit upload anyway. It doesn't like the date format that I use, but it's going to import that data. So while it's importing the data, it's validating the data against the data in QuickBooks. So it's looking to see if there's a project that matches the project in the time entry. It's looking for a match for each of the employees. And once it does that validation, it's going to do the import. And you'll see we have a progress bar. So I do see a question pop up. How do you get your, while this is going, I'll answer the question. How do you get your,
there's, oh, go ahead, Gordon, sorry.
Oh, I see.
I was gonna say there's two questions.
Okay.
So I guess if you can see them, answer the one that you feel like is most applicable to this section.
Well, so I can see the one from Jade. How do you get your project names in BusyBusy to match up with your customer names in QBO? So that's a good question. If you sign up for our direct integration, we can turn on the sync of your projects, your customers, to sync over into BusyBusy, and that ensures that they match exactly. If you want them to match between BusyBusy without that sync, then that integration, then you just need to make sure to do a check between your projects here in the management list within BusyBusy to ensure that they match what's in QuickBooks. So you just kind of, I'd probably pull up two screens and match them up, or if that's a lot and that's going to be tedious and you've got a very long list, I would recommend using the edit using spreadsheet tool. This allows you to download a list of your projects. You can edit that project list within Microsoft Excel. So if I pull up that project list, you'll see, I think it's going to, oh, there it is. So you can edit the project name here in column K of this edit using spreadsheet. And once you've edited those to match what's in QuickBooks, you can then go back to BusyBusy, hit upload list. It'll fix them all. I would recommend copying and pasting from QuickBooks into that spreadsheet and then hitting upload, and that will then match all of those customer names up. So, and I feel like I'm going really fast on some of these things. We will send the recording out. So if you want to go back and like slow it down and go through that again, you can definitely do that. Hopefully that answers your question. So now that we've done that import, you'll see that, I'll shoot oh, there it is. So the import failed partially because, like I said, we have a lot of test data. It doesn't all match up with what I have in our test QuickBooks account, but 64 records did match up, and it lets us see exactly what failed and what did not. So you can see here it doesn't like this employee because I haven't added this employee into QuickBooks, but they exist in BusyBusy. So I can fix it all from here, or I can fix it in BusyBusy or in QuickBooks so that it all matches. Important thing always when you're trying to set up automations, make sure that you match all of your data across all your systems. That's going to allow a matchup. So Adam Woody is not a match for an employee within QuickBooks. So once I've got that all of those 64 time entries, those are all now going to show up in my weekly timesheet within QuickBooks. And then once you've got that weekly timesheet there, for those that do payroll, you can go into your payroll, run your payroll like you normally would, and those payroll items or those time entries in the weekly timesheet will pull over into your payroll. If you're doing your payroll within QBO, then those transactions that result from that payroll are going to result in your job costing and your actual dollar amounts on your jobs. So hopefully that makes sense. Any questions that you have on what we've covered up to this point, go ahead and throw them in the Q&A, and I'm happy to answer them. And then I have just 2 more sections, and we'll wrap it up, and I'll have to do those in the next 2 minutes. So I'll answer any questions you have at the end, but go ahead and pop those in the Q&A section. So final thing here, well, final 2 things. We'll go back to my slideshow here. I feel like I have to talk about the understanding the relationship between payroll and job costing, and just emphasize the relationship. A lot of times people will come to us with a scenario where they have QuickBooks or an accounting system and they're doing payroll in that system, and we either create have a direct integration, or we create an export-import solution for them. That works great because that accounting system, when you run payroll, is going to generate transactions that populate on the general ledger. Those general ledger transactions will then ultimately result in job costing with actual transaction amounts. So that's the most streamlined way of getting your actual job costing to populate on your jobs. The scenario that I also see commonly is where we have job costing happening in an accounting system, but you're using a third-party payroll provider, and that third-party payroll provider may or may not accommodate job costing. If they do, like ADP, Paychex, Plexus, iSolve, these are all really common softwares that I work with, payroll providers that I work with. They all accommodate job costing. But as you send your time with that job costing through those third-party payroll providers, one thing you'll want to ask them is you'll want to ask them for a general ledger export. And a lot of times you can use that general ledger export to either manually enter those time entries into your accounting system to get your job costing, or if your accounting system allows for importing of transactions, that general ledger can then transaction list or that general ledger file from that payroll provider can be used to import that into your accounting system for job costing. So I have a lot of conversations with these third-party payroll providers. So if you feel like it's a bigger discussion and you'd like to get some help, I jump on with ADP and iSolved and Plexus all the time to discuss the best way to get job costing through their systems back into your accounting system. So you've got help, and I'm happy to help. Let's see. So the slide that so this is the question slide. I'm going to pause here for just a second before, so we'll talk about one thing before we get onto the questions. The future of job site data, just to give you a little primer, and I'll take 30 seconds to summarize this in a nutshell. The amount of data, again, that we collect through BusyBusy is just tremendous. It's exciting, but also can be overwhelming. And to make that data consumable and be able to make informed decisions based on that data, BusyBusy we've embarked on, and we intend to continue to expand our offerings of easy to consume visual representations of your data. So if you're not familiar with the dashboard, take some time to familiarize yourself with this. You can customize this dashboard. This is a way for you to set up quick and easy to consume visualizations of the data within BusyBusy. And at a certain point, this is just going to be just an incredible asset. I mean, it already is, but just look for more and more to come out with this. This is summarizing your data in a visual format is going to be the future of data in BusyBusy. So and in the construction industry. So anyway, with that said, we can go on to our Q&A.
Okay, perfect. So we have a couple of questions I think we'll be able to get to. First one, will employees have to sign their time cards before the time can be imported into QuickBooks Online, or can I still import the time without them signing their cards?
That is a good question. At BusyBusy, we try to allow you to still carry out the tasks that you need to and perform payroll and the duties you have to perform, and not pigeonhole you into certain processes. And with that said, the signature tool and time card approval for employees and for supervisors, that's not a mandatory thing to get data from BusyBusy into QuickBooks, but it is a tool that allows you to carry out company policy and process.
Awesome. Okay, let's see here. Francine asked, does QBO add a labor burden to the BusyBusy time when it imports in?
It does not, and mostly because we're just sending the payroll items or earned codes to QuickBooks Online or to the respective accounting system, and then we're counting on the setup for each employee in their specific locality, state, and so on to determine those markups, those withholdings and those taxes and all that good stuff. So that labor burden would be calculated within the payroll system.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, let's see here. Anthony is asking, he said, I've had my BusyBusy set up with the sub projects to track the work that is taking place. Should I integrate to the cost codes instead to better track that?
It depends. That would probably need to be a discussion that I would have to have with you. It's something I didn't mention. Sometimes if you want to have project specific cost codes, you can either use our project specific cost code setting, and then you would have a master cost code list within the cost codes, and then assign the cost codes to their respective projects. Or if you want to bypass or forego the cost code list, the master cost code list, and then just set up those cost codes on the individual sub projects or as individual sub projects on the jobs, you can do that. There are various reasons that we see for people doing that, and that would probably need to be a discussion that we would have to see, does it make sense to do that? So
awesome. I think we probably have time for one or two more questions. Yeah, let's see. Brandon's asking, how do I get time for equipment into QuickBooks?
That is a good question. That also needs to be a much longer discussion with how you have your QuickBooks set up. I will say that QuickBooks has been used by contractors forever, but they still have yet to set up a separate module for equipment. And what we see people do is they'll usually set up as service items, their equipment as service items. And then if that equipment performs, specific activities. So for example, you might set up an excavator as a service item in QuickBooks, and that excavator might perform over X. It might perform, excavation. It might perform backfill, and it might have a series of things that it's going to do, or a series of activities that it might do. If you set them up that way as service items nested within the equipment within QuickBooks, we can transfer that data into QuickBooks with the associated activity associated with the equipment. So again, that would be another discussion, and I can demonstrate that for anybody that wants to see that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think we're just about done on time. So appreciate everybody who joined, and thanks for being engaging and asking questions. The questions we didn't get to, we'll reach out to you and make sure we get them answered for you. If anything pops up in the meantime, definitely reach out and let us know. But yeah, thank you, Gordon. And that was super helpful, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Bracken.
Okay.
Thanks,
awesome.
everybody.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.